Greetings everyone, welcome back to Fruition Garden, and thank you so much for tuning into my video. I greatly appreciate it as always. And in today's video I am going to be finally harvesting my radishes. So they're pretty small, but it's time to harvest these, and the reason why I'm going to harvest them is because I don't want this to happen. This is a radish that has gone to seed, so we have not a lot, but we have a few of them that are like this. That tells me that the other ones are not far behind. Also, I thought these were all radishes. However, I realized that some of them are turnips, as you can see. So that's a pleasant surprise. And then I also completely forgot that I had planted some rutabaga in this bed as well. And these are the rutabaga that are coming up. You can see the leaves are a little bit different. The leaves are more like of a starchy kind of complexion, if that makes sense, rather than the glossier leaves of the radishes and the turnips. So yeah, I'm going to harvest these. My camera might die, so we'll see. And while we're over here, get a closer look at the beets. See the little beets forming? So amazing. They're looking so healthy. They're looking absolutely amazing. So let me set this camera up before it dies and do some harvesting. So here are all the radishes that we harvested today. They're pretty small, but all of the larger ones I've been harvesting them as needed. So this is pretty good for the last straggling radishes. And now that this is all harvested, the next step is, of course, I still have some radishes in turnips apparently on this row here, And so, of course, I'm going to leave these here because some of them have already gone to seed, and I'm just going to let them go to seed and feed the bees and other pollinators. And then the ones that are still growing, these turnips, which look amazing, I'm going to leave them here. But because I need this row on the edge to be perfectly clear so that I can plant, I'm thinking maybe carrots. I'm tempted to do another succession of radishes in the same spot, but I'm going to do something else. Well, I don't know. Maybe I will do radishes again. You know what? I think I'm going to do more radishes. I'm going to do another succession of radishes in this same spot because I'd rather do the carrots towards the middle of the raised bed. So once I harvest these, all of these turnips and champion radishes from the middle section, I'm going to then plant my carrots in the middle. I think that'll be better. And I'm just going to do another succession of radishes here, and maybe even some lettuce, but I think I'm going to stick with radishes. So as I was saying, some of the leaves from this middle row are leaning over into the outer row that I need to plant in. So all I'm going to be doing is removing the leaves, and then I'm going to plant in it, preferably before the middle of this week, because we are supposed to get some rain. And when you do have leaves like this, the best thing to do is to compost in place. Just put it right back where you got it from and allow it to break down and go back into the soil, because all of those nutrients that it had to pull from the soil to produce this plant, to produce these leaves, and to produce this wonderful vegetable here, all of those nutrients are going to go right back into the same area where they were pulled from. So it's best to leave all of your leaves just right in place. Of course, like I said, when I start to plant, I'm going to move these over and just put them more towards the middle. But the point is, all of these resources will be going back into the soil in this area where they were taken from. So always have to give back to the soil so that it can continue to produce and be amazing. That is one huge leaf. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's keep going up here. Oh, found another radish. That looks like a breakfast radish. Just a little misformed. Oh, and look at this. Wow, this is actually Malabar spinach, which I'm very surprised. I don't know how it got all the way over here, because it used to grow all in that area on its own. But I think I put a lot of leaves and mostly leaves in that area. So I think that the Malabar spinach seeds are very, very shaded out and probably did not make it. But somehow some got over here. So I'll leave them. Maybe I'll transplant them, but we'll see. Anyway, back to this. Continuing to take these off. So for example, this one does have a turnip on the bottom, or a radish. I honestly, some of these I'm not really sure if they're turnips or radishes, but it looks like it's going to seed. This is kind of a tough one because if it's going to seed, then the turnip is not going to taste good, or the radish, but it also might be fine. So I think that I am going to take my chances on this one. I'm going to actually harvest this one. I'm not sure, again, not sure if it's a turnip or radish, but I'm harvesting it. Shouldn't be too bad. It's not completely flowering yet, so I think the radish will still be good. And radishes already have like a little bit of a bitter, spicy flavor anyway, so it just might be a little bit more intensified. So there we go. I'll put that in our bin. Continue to harvest. So amazing. I can't wait to plant more. Okay. Now this big one, I'm going to put right back in the middle to break down. And anything else? see. Got some random carrots and some comfrey leaves and a beet growing. Okay, so that is it, pretty much. We got all the leaves that were covering the row. What's going on here, actually, except for this one. So this, I'm gonna have to pull this comfrey plant up, unfortunately. But it'll probably reroot and just keep growing. Okay, this is comfrey also. Oh, I remember this plant. Yeah, I thought I had gotten up all of the roots, but apparently not. As much as I love comfrey, I don't want it growing here because it'll take up too much space. And I want to grow other stuff, obviously. I clearly did not get the roots, and I'm not going to dig my hands in there. I don't want to squish any bugs, but that should be good for now. These comfrey leaves, you can probably guess where I'm going to put them. I'm going to go put them in the stinky bucket. Right here. Right there. Oof. That does not smell good. But it smells very healthy for the plants. Oh my Lord. Okay, time to go. Time to go. Can't spend too much time over here. It's protecting my seedlings from being dug up by the squirrels because the squirrels don't like the smell either, clearly. It's usually the day after I plant seeds, they're all dug up the next day. Not all of it, but like there's a bunch of holes everywhere. And there's not one hole, well, there was one right here, but clearly they couldn't stay for long. And I can't either. So, on to the next thing. My lettuce seeds are coming up. This video is turning into a little bit of a garden tour. But these are my little lettuce seeds that I planted underneath the tree. If you remember from one of my shorts videos, I had put comfrey and wood chips all around this area, and I planted the lettuce seeds, and as you can see, they are coming up slowly but surely. Let's look over here. Some of my lettuce seeds are definitely on the older side, and so I definitely overplanted the seeds because I had a feeling that germination rates would not be very high, but I am pleasantly surprised with the level of germination. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look up close in real life, there's actually a lot of little lettuces coming up. So we are going to prayerfully have lettuce growing all around this tree. That is so amazing. And lettuce growing all around this tree as well. And all these lettuces. Okay, this isn't supposed to be a garden tour, but I do want to show you one more thing. This is the lettuce that's in a pot, looking pretty good. We harvested from this quite a bit, and I'm kind of surprised that it's still going because the soil got a little dry because I forgot to water it, but the lettuce still tastes good, so that's great. The rosemary is huge now. This was the rosemary that I transplanted. It was so tiny, and after we finally got rain, it definitely had a growth spurt because it was looking the same for a very long time, but I know that it was also sending roots down into the soil and getting established. So sometimes plants will look the same for a while, and it's not because they're sickly or because they're not growing. It's actually because they're growing from within, actually. So underneath the ground, their roots are getting deeper and stronger and more established. Also, the bottom of these pots open, and so the roots can go as deep as they want to, and they can go into the ground. So this plant is going to get huge, but it also has that elevation because rosemary doesn't like to sit in water. So I figured having it in a pot that has an open bottom, not completely open, just like the regular, holes on the bottom of the pot, having that part open is a great way to allow it to still go into the ground so it can get as big as it wants to get. Japanese pickling eggplants. They're looking amazing. And then I have on the outskirts some lemongrass, which is amazing. You can harvest this lemongrass and make tea with it. It's very great for the nervous system, very healing. And you can, oh my gosh, it smells so good. It smells like, it almost has a little bit of a ginger smell, like ginger, lemon, and oh my gosh, I can't even explain the smell. It smells amazing though. I will be harvesting the leaves and making tea, but I also want to harvest the roots at the end of the season because I never actually have harvested the roots. Okay, I think we can end it there because I don't want this video to be too long, and I'll show some more things in upcoming garden tour videos. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope that you will tune into the next video, and until next time, I pray that you all have a beautiful and amazing rest of your day. Bye for now.